You're watching HuffPost Live. I'm Nancy Red. Now, your chances of winning the lottery are 1 in 175 million. And Richard Lustig has been that one 7 times. That's right. He's taken home a jackpot 7 times. Now, you may think it's because he's a lucky man. But Richard says that luck has nothing to do with it, and you can be a big winner, too. And he's going to tell us how. Hi, Richard.
Hi, Nancy. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm looking at your book right here. It's right here on Amazon. Learn how to increase your chances of winning the lottery you had to cross out number 6 from a 7-time grand prize lottery winner. How many years have you been playing the lottery to have won 7 times? 100, 200 years?
I started playing the lottery when it came to Florida, which was about 25 years ago. And it took me a few years to start developing some things that helped me win more often. And then eventually I won my first, my second, third, and here we are today. I've now won 7 lottery game grand prizes.
And you were just playing like the rest of us. Now, full disclosure, I'm a Southern girl, so us Southern people love us some lotto. My mama says you can't win if you don't play. So we just normally get the quick picks, and it's very exciting. Sometimes we get 2 or 3. You say it's more complicated than that. You realized that about 18 years ago, right?
Absolutely. And in fact, that's one of the things that I try to tell people all the time. Do not buy quick picks. And I know there's people watching this right now that say, what do you mean don't buy quick picks? I always buy quick picks. Well, have you won yet? Now, if I'm going to make a statement like that, I need to be able to back it up. And here's what it is. Quick picks are, for those people that don't know, are a computer-generated set of numbers for the game that you bought the quick pick for. For instance, Powerball, one of the big multi-state games. The odds of winning Powerball are 1 in 175 million. So every time you buy a quick pick, your odds are always going to be 1 in 175 million, the worst they can be. But if you pick your own numbers and you play them consistently and you never change them, actually, every time you lose, your odds get a little bit better. Not a lot, but a little bit better for the next drawing.
So is that what you started doing to win all this cash?
That plus many other things which are in my book, yes.
Okay, so here's the thing. Nothing speaks like the actual numbers. You've been playing so long. The very first time you won, how much did you win the very first time you won the lotto?
The very first jackpot I won was 2 weeks after my son was born. He's now 20. And it was for $10,000, and it was on a scratch ticket, and it was following what I had developed this method, which at that point I didn't even know I had a method.
How do you have a method with the scratchers?
Well, here's one of the things that I tell people. I see people do this all the time. They go to the counter, in the store, and there's a display of all the scratch tickets, and they say, let me see here. Well, let me have a couple of those, and, oh, you got bingo. I like bingo. Let me have a few of those, and I like the colors on that ticket right there. Let me have a couple of those. Folks, that's one of the worst things in the world you can do. You might as well put on a blindfold, take a loaded gun, and try to hit the target. It's not going to happen. So here's what you do. One of the things I preach also is about setting a budget. Do not get what's called lottery fever. Do not spend grocery money. Do not spend rent money. Figure out what you can afford. So let's just say, for this example, your budget is $100. And my method works whether you've got a $10 budget or a $10,000 budget. It doesn't matter. But for this example, we'll say it's $100. Now, scratch tickets come in all denominations, $1, $3, $5, $10, $20. So if you take your money, if it's $100, you divide it by 10. So now you're going to buy 10 $10 tickets. Here's part of the method. Don't pick 10 tickets out of different games. Buy all 10 tickets in a row of the same game. If you do that, almost every single time you do it, there's going to be a winning ticket in there. Most of the times 2, and sometimes even 3 or 4 winning tickets in that stretch of 10 tickets in a row. You just increased your chances of winning.
I think this is a brilliant, brilliant idea. I can't wait to tell my mom, who is a quick pick fan and a pick and choose scratcher girl. I think we could change her luck. After 73 years, the most she's won has been like a free ticket. So we can make some changes because other people are really into this. We have Marissa and Emily 7 times. I can't even win once. And then we have a question from G.I. Fine. The first time you won that $10,000 jackpot right after your son was born, what was the first thing that you did?
At that time, we were like everybody else. We were living paycheck to paycheck, and we had insurance. But as I said, I won that 2 weeks after my son was born, and the insurance doesn't cover all the medical bills, so we didn't know how we were going to pay the rest of the bills. And we were also living in an old house, and we had a leaky roof, And it's just like a scene in the movie. Every time it rained, we'd put the buckets out to catch the water. So when I won that first grand prize, the first thing I did was I paid off the hospital and I got our roof repaired.
All right, but see, that's not what you advocate in your book. You say when you win the lottery, don't spend it all in one place.
Well, that's true. But you got to remember something. That was the first time I won. I didn't know what I was doing yet. I didn't even know I was developing a method yet. I didn't even realize that I had a method until my fourth win, even though everybody else was still saying, oh, you're just a lucky guy. There's no such thing as a method. I'm saying I've won 4 times. How can you say that's just luck? But when I won my 5th grand prize, now people started to say, okay, wait a minute here. Nobody can be that lucky. What's your secret? That was the big question I got. And ever since then, that's what this has all been about.
Okay, so that's what it's all been about. You figured out around the 4th time. Here's the thing. We have so many stories out there talking about winning the lotto ruined them. Because what's the largest amount you've won in a lotto jackpot?
Okay, the largest amount I've won was win number 5, and that was $842,000.
So that's enough to make a lot of people crazy.
Here's why you made a comment about sometimes winning the lottery ruins people. What happens is you get somebody who's never had that kind of money in their life, and they win this big, giant grand prize. What do? They go crazy. They start throwing parties and spending money on all kinds of stuff and buying fancy cars and whatever. Folks, if you are fortunate enough to win a grand prize, the very first thing you should do is seek financial help. Get a financial planner, an accountant, a lawyer. Make sure whoever you get is a reputable person with a good reputation, and then have them help you just decide what to do with that money. The first thing you should do is pay off all your bills, set up a future plan of investments and stuff to protect yourself for the rest of your life, and then you go out and buy the talking cars.
Okay, so but you are a fan of the cars. You've gotten the cars, but here's what I want to know. You've been with your wife for longer than the lotto has existed in Florida. Has all of the fame, all of the fortune, has it ever affected your relationship?
Absolutely not. No offense against you or any other woman in the world, but I am married to the woman. Cassetta is not only my wife, but she's my best friend. She's been with me through thick and thin. And at first she had her doubts. She thought, are you really sure you know what you're doing here? And I said, no, I really don't know what I'm doing here, but I'm trying stuff to see if I can make something happen. And then, of course, as I kept improving and I kept winning more, she went right along with it. She's my best friend.
I love it. Now, when you're spending all this money, because how much in total? You've won a lot, but you've also spent a lot to win the lottery. How much in total do you think you have spent on lottery tickets?
I wish I knew the answer to that, because I get that asked a lot now. How much have you spent versus how much have you lost and how much have you won and so forth. You got to remember, again, the first 10, 15 years or so, I didn't know what I was doing. I was experimenting. I had no idea I was going to write a book. I mean, that was the farthest thing from my mind. So I never kept track of anything. All I know is this, that I'm still able to play. I'm still winning. And I'm playing with lottery money. And I'm having fun doing it.
I love it. Okay, of all of the things you've purchased with all of the money, which is over $1 million, right, that you've won with these 7 lotto jackpots.
Yes, I'm in the millions, yes.
You're in the millions. You're in the millions. And so
yes.
With all of the millions you've won, what is your favorite thing that you've purchased?
Oh, boy, that's a toughie, because I've bought a Jaguar. I now own a Harley. I bought my son his first car, which is a Beamer. And we've gone on cruises. I would have to say probably if I had to pick one item, one of the times we took all of our family on a 10-day cruise, 7 days on sea and then 4 days on land up in Alaska. We had an absolutely great time with that.
That's incredible. And do you have a job? Do you have to? Is your job playing lotto?
I'm glad you used that word, because that's what I try to make people understand. That there's casual lottery players, and there's nothing wrong with that. These are people that play once in a while. They buy a couple of tickets here, a couple of tickets there. They're not really serious about it. But then you have serious lottery players. And that's what my method is all about. It's for people who really want to win. If you really want to win, you have to consider this like a job. So you have to be willing to put the time and the effort into doing the research. And I teach you how to do that in my book. And it's very easy to do. And to find out if you got a winning set, if you got a good set of numbers to play. So, yeah, it is a job. So I have 2 jobs. I also own a talent agency, and I book like 70s and 80s classic rock acts like Rare Earth and Eddie Money and Doobie Brothers and stuff like that. But, yeah, I have 2 jobs because my other job is the lottery.
But you do know that you're coming back on here with your 70s and 80s talent people, by the way. It seems like really a good time. But here's another thing. You know, I've dabbled in winning things. I once won $250,000 a millionaire, and even as a kid, oh my gosh, everywhere I was turning, folks were like, "Hey, can I get some cash?" It was very overwhelming. How did you handle all of the people coming out of the woodworks once they realized that whether it was luck or skill, you had a lotto trend in you, and you were in the green?
You know, it's funny. I haven't been hit that often by those kinds of people. I've had a few here and there once in a while. And the only thing you can do is ignore it, because you're going to get people that are, they're going to come out of the woodworks. You know, one of the things that I'm pushing for in whatever way I can do it is I'm pushing for anonymity, where people can be anonymous. That's the word I was looking for. You know, some states you can win and you can stay anonymous, and your name doesn't have to be publicized. I believe that's the way it should be. Some states, they insist that you have to be publicized and that people have to know who you are. You know, you take a guy who maybe is working construction all his life, and he all of a sudden wins a big lottery, and next thing you know, he's thrown into a room with all these reporters and TV cameras and flashes going off, and you know, you're freaking the poor guy out. I believe that if people want to win and stay anonymous, they should be allowed to do so. Me, I'm used to it. I've been in the entertainment business all my life, so it doesn't bother me.
Well, here's the thing. It doesn't bother you, but hopefully I think people, if they had to choose between millions of dollars and being anonymous, they might choose millions of dollars. And in that case, they might want to take a look at your book. Learn how to increase your chances of winning the lottery. And I'm tickled that you've been able to join us. I have to say, I rarely say this, but your wife is a lucky, lucky lady.
Well, I'm actually the lucky, lucky guy that she married.
Obviously, she is priceless, and so are you. It's been fantastic talking with you, Richard, but I gotta go. I gotta get my lotto. I do have one last question really quickly. If you had to choose, would you put your cash in the Powerball or the Mega Millions, or would you put it in scratch-offs? Which would you choose?
Which would I choose, or what do I recommend people to choose?
What do you recommend people choose?
Okay, that's a different question, because what I recommend people to choose is, what I'm trying to teach, it's not that people are stupid, it's just they don't know how to play. So what I'm trying to do is to teach people who don't play with greed, play with smarts. Yes, you'd love to win 40 million or 100 million, but if you don't have enough money to play a lot, you only got a little bit, go after the games with the smaller jackpots. Yes, 40 million would be great, but most people today, if they only won $100,000, that could be life-changing for them. So play the games with the smaller jackpots, because you have better chances of winning.
So the scratch-offs.
Scratch-offs is one of those, but there's also ball games that have smaller grand prizes.
All right. I've learned a lot. I'll be getting my scratch-off. So thank you so much for